Hello Pharma aspirants, welcome back to Pharmacharya. In the previous lecture, we learned about the phase 3 clinical trials. Before we step into phase 4 clinical trials, let's quickly recap where we are in the drug development journey. In phase 3, also known as the confirmatory phase, the drug is tested on thousands of patients to establish its safety, efficacy, and therapeutic superiority compared to existing treatments or placebos. This is the most critical stage for regulatory approval because the data generated here becomes the backbone of the new drug application submitted to agencies like FDA or EMA. Once a drug successfully clears phase 3 and receives approval, it enters the transition phase, moving from controlled clinical settings into the real-world marketplace. And this is where phase 4, the post-marketing surveillance phase, begins. It focuses not only on long-term safety and rare adverse effects, but also on understanding how the drug performs in diverse populations outside the rigid boundaries of clinical trials. By the time new medicine reaches the hands of patients, it has already undergone years of research, preclinical studies, and 3 rigorous phases of clinical trials. But drug development does not end at approval. In fact, the real test begins after the drug is launched into the market. And this stage is known as phase 4 clinical trials or post-marketing studies. This phase ensures that the medicine remains safe, effective, and beneficial in the real world outside of the controlled environment of earlier clinical trials. Phase 4 clinical trials are conducted only after a drug has been approved by regulatory authorities. Unlike phases 1, 2, and 3, which are performed on limited number of patients, phase 4 trials involve very large populations, sometimes thousands or even millions, representing real-world diversity. These trials may last for years or even decades, continuously monitoring the drug's impact on public health. The primary objective of phase 4 clinical trials is long-term safety monitoring, also called pharmacovigilance. They aim to detect rare, unexpected, or delayed adverse events that might not appear in smaller, shorter studies. For example, rare side effects that occur only in 1 out of the 10,000 patients often came to light only after widespread use. Apart from safety, phase 4 also evaluates real-world effectiveness, ensuring that the drug works as well as in daily clinical practice as it did in controlled trial conditions. Another important objective is to collect data from special populations such as children, the elderly, pregnant women, or patients with comorbidities. Groups that may not have been adequately studied earlier. Registries are created to gather information on patients with specific diseases, while pharmacoeconomic studies evaluate the cost-benefit ratio of treatment options. Together, these studies provide a comprehensive picture of how the drug performs in society. History has shown us why phase 4 is indispensable. The painkiller rofecoxib, marketed as Vioxx, was withdrawn from the market after phase 4 data revealed an increased risk of heart attacks and strokes. Thalidomide, once widely prescribed, was later found to cause severe birth defects when used during pregnancy. More recently, phase 4 clinical trials of COVID-19 vaccines continue to monitor rare side effects such as myocarditis. These examples highlight that without phase 4 surveillance, serious risks could be unnoticed until it is too late. Phase 4 clinical trials come with both advantages and challenges. On the positive side, they identify rare and long-term adverse reactions, assess drug use in special populations, and provide evidences that shapes clinical guidelines. They also give policymakers and healthcare providers data on cost effectiveness, helping them make better decisions. However, phase 4 studies require huge resources, take long durations, and often rely on spontaneous adverse event reporting, which may suffer from underreporting. In some cases, safety concerns are detected only after large number of people are exposed to the drug. To make this concept easier to remember, think of the phases of clinical trials with the mnemonics SAFE. Safety is phase 1, activity and efficiency in phase 2, final confirmation in phase 3, and extended monitoring in phase 4. For the objectives of phase 4, you can recall SAFE-C, which stands for safety, adverse event detection, formulary guidelines, effectiveness, and cost effectiveness. In conclusion, phase 4 clinical trials are the watchdogs of drug development. They ensure that a medicine remains safe and effective even after approval, continuously monitoring its performance in the real world. Phase 4 serves as a bridge between clinical research and public health, reminding us that drug development is not just about getting approval, it is about safeguarding patients throughout the drug's life cycle. The next time you hear about a post-marketing safety alert or a drug recall, remember that it is phase 4 in action, quietly working to protect millions of lives worldwide. Before we wrap up today's session, I'm really excited to share something new with you all. Starting next week, we are launching a brand new video series here on Pharmacharya called Pharma Career Compass. This series is designed especially for pharmacy graduates who are often confused about the question, what's next after B.Pharm? In this series, we will explore every possible career direction from industry roles like R&D, pharmacovigilance, clinical research, regulatory affairs and manufacturing to academic opportunities like M-Pharmacy, PhD and teaching careers. We will also talk about global options, higher studies beyond M-Pharmacy such as MBA, MSc, MTech and how to decide the right path based on your interests and long-term goals. So, if you are a pharmacy student or a young graduate looking for clarity in your career journey, stay tuned for Pharma Career Compass. Pharma Career Compass will be your guide to navigate the world of opportunities after B.Pharmacy. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss the first episode next week. Thank you for watching.